dream, man.
Yeah.
I thought you said a present for
Hello everybody and welcome to Mr. Bones All-Stars. If you are new to my channel, please make sure to like and subscribe. I am going on my 13th year of teaching elementary, and I am heading back into the kindergarten classroom for the first time in about 2.5 years. If you have not seen my classroom setup videos, there is a whole series for this year for 2024, so make sure to check those out. I have those linked in the description. This is going to be my day in the life of a teacher series, where you just kind of take a look at the day-to-day happenings of my life, especially when it comes to centered around teaching. And right now I'm in the throes of back to school. I'm supposed to be heading on vacation, but we are right now having to adjust the days where we are going camping. So that's not happening for a few more days. I just spent about a week setting up my classroom and getting it ready. And now I'm going to start getting ready for the whole planning situation. There'll still be some things that I adjust here and there in the classroom, but for the most part, I am ready to start looking at the new curriculum for anybody that is either a new teacher or switching districts. Looking at a curriculum, trying to learn a whole new curriculum can be very daunting, very exhausting, and hopefully you can kind of see my process and how I familiarize myself with the curriculum and see what it is that I do. And hopefully you'll get some ideas or kind of see what's the best practices for doing, learning a curriculum and planning for the year. I also want to take the time to make a shout out to one of my viewers. As I had noted in my previous classroom setup videos, I got a donation to my wish list and was purchased my teacher toolbox, which I'm definitely needing now, because if you've seen my classroom, you know that I don't really have any room for a teacher desk, which is not the worst thing in the world. I know plenty of teachers who don't use a teacher desk in their classroom. I have always had one. I just like having my own space, but I don't have enough room for a teacher desk. So what I do have is I'm using my small group table as kind of like my teacher area, and behind it is just like my area where my phone is and my supplies. But now I have this teacher toolbox that I can organize all of my supplies and everything, things that might go in here, paper clips, staples, flashcards, those brads, the push brads, all kinds of things that can go in here. And I'm very grateful to the person that donated this item. I'm keeping their name. I'm not going to share their name just for privacy reasons, but I'm very grateful for those that donate to my wish list. If you would like to donate to my wish list, I will have the link in the description of this video. So today I'm going to head into the classroom for a little bit. I believe that they are at the second batch of summer school classes, so it might be a little busy in the school. I might not stay for very long. I might just grab some curriculum so I can bring it home and start reviewing it. We'll see what happens. I also have my 2 younger children with me, so they are going to probably not want to stay in the classroom for very long, especially because there's not a whole lot for us to setup wise to do right now. But I do want to at least get in there, grab that curriculum, and maybe see if anything has fallen down. I was told that the teacher that was in the classroom before me had a lot of problems with things falling down, and they used poster putty. I don't know if they use Gorilla Putty, because again, This is not a paid product placement, but I cannot tell you how amazing the Gorilla Putty has been for me in having a classroom, putting things up in a classroom that aren't like bulletin boards, but up just on regular walls. So I'm gonna see if anything has fallen down since I haven't been in there for a few days. And if not, then great. If they do fall down, if there has been things that have fallen down, I'm gonna have to kind of take a look and see what I need to do to fix that problem, if I need to fix that problem. So let's see what the day brings us. Okay, I wasn't at school for very long, but I did check my classroom and nothing fell down. So again, Gorilla mounting putty for the win. I set up the teacher toolbox. So it's still fairly empty because I have a lot of supplies that I still need to get. But I've heard that the previous teacher did order items. They always do their order at the end of the year. And so there's a lot of stuff that still could be coming that can go into my teacher toolbox. So I'm not really worried about that. And I got my teaching easel, so I moved that into the room. I also found out another thing too. My district will be providing a new rug for all the teachers, and we got to pick from a selection of different rugs, and I picked the one with the different colored squares because it just makes it easier to assign students a spot to sit on the rug. So some good things happening, good news happening all around. But I didn't stay at the school long. I grabbed some curriculum so I could take a look, and I grabbed, for anybody that is moving into a district or is brand new to teaching altogether, it can be overwhelming, to say the least, about learning a new curriculum. And so the most important thing to be is just take the time, be prepared. It can be overwhelming, but if you actually take the time, you will find that your teammates will be willing to help you fill in the gaps of the things that you might have missed through just the limited time that you have to look at the curriculum. But what I do is I find any curriculum that I'm learning to adopt. I always try to find like a program guide, or like if they don't have like a program guide, find the volume 1 teacher guide to whatever curriculum and look through it. If you need to use sticky notes, put sticky notes on there to make notes of everything, because that program guide that you have it will really just kind of like give you a what you call a 10,000 foot overview of what exactly how to use the curriculum. Don't just start diving in and being like, okay, I've got this volume 1 that I need to look at. Let's just start diving in and planning. You're going to get lost in the weeds. Definitely start with like a program overview, a program guide, the front matter, whatever it is, and just familiarize yourself with the pieces of the curriculum. Once you've gotten that foundation, once you're familiar with those pieces, it will become much easier to then, once you're ready to start looking at, start planning for your first week, you will be like, okay, I recognize this. This is familiar from that first part that I looked at. Once you've looked at like the program guide, the curriculum overview, then really just start looking at if they have a year-long scope and sequence. Definitely look at it. Pay attention to how things are mapped out, the trajectory, because that'll kind of give you an idea of how fast or slow you need to go. Are there some weeks that you can, like, if you're, depending upon your district's, how flexible they are, can you cut some weeks out? Can you shorten some things? Definitely look at that year-long scope and sequence if your curriculum has it. And then after you've done that, you should be feeling pretty solid about where you're at. If you don't have everything mastered, if you don't know every bit and piece of the curriculum, you will catch on. Again, if you have teammates, hopefully they'll help you fill in some of the gaps. But really those 2 pieces at first. Try to get your hands on a program guide. Try to get your hands on, if you can't get a program guide, look at the volume 1 or whatever's in the front. There's usually like a section in the front that you can flip through and sort of look at. And then look at the year-long scope and sequence to kind of familiarize with how the program is laid out throughout the entire year. If every reading curriculum and math curriculum too has some sort of what is called like a week at a glance. That is going to be your best way to kind of determine like what your week's going to look like, what are you going to teach each and every day. There's usually like a lesson for each week. There's usually like it's broken down by lessons, and most weeks are broken into like 5 lessons. So that will be your next thing after you've looked at the program guide, you looked at the year-long scope and sequence. Just pay attention to that week at a glance. If you start digging into the weeds of the lessons first, you're going to get completely lost. So that's just my very quick and easy way to dive into a curriculum if you are a brand new teacher or coming into a new district for yourself. So my kids had lunch. I am going to spend some time looking at this curriculum, and then I'm going to see if I can find some color posters that display the colors on like Teacher Pay Teacher, and see if my one of my partners, my teaching partners, can print it on their color printer at the school, because again, I still do not have access to a color printer. So here we go. for only spending about a half hour in my classroom, there certainly did a lot today. After I got back from the classroom, had to feed the kids lunch, of course, and then dived right into some looking at curriculum, pre-planning, and that sort of thing. Hopefully, my little video blurb gave you some best practices on how to go and dive into curriculum if you're a new teacher or new to a district. What you saw me doing was taking sticky notes and highlighting things, especially in the year-long scope and sequence, and in that other book that was like the program overview, the program guide. And that's just important for me, so that when I go back and look at it later, that I won't have forgotten anything that I looked at, and it's just useful for me to use as a reference when I go back and look again. You also saw me look for some color posters that I can put up in my room. I found a good set that is from the same creator of the Spotty Brights decor that I use in my classroom, so I will link that in the description below. And then we did actually go back to the school. I went with Zachary and Hannah because Zachary yesterday learned how to ride his bike without training wheels for the first time, and so he was super excited. He wanted to go back and practice some more and show off his skills, so we went and did that. And Hannah was just super excited to go play at the playground of her new school, her and Zachary and Daddy's new school. So we spent some time at the playground. Zachary rode his bike, and then we went and got ice cream because over the weekend, Zachary and Hannah earned money for doing some chores around their Nana and Papa's house, and so they wanted to buy ice cream with the money that they earned. And we are back here, and it's almost dinner time, so I'm gonna wrap things up here. Hopefully you've enjoyed the content and you got some good information about how to look into the curriculum. As always, if you like these videos, make sure to like and subscribe, and check back here often, as there will be more content, more day in the life videos and other such information coming out in the coming days, as well as after vacation. So thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you again soon.